go to running backs. Which running backs are you looking to evaluate and why?
All of them. I mean, seriously, all of them. And I say that because I have a distinct question about each one. Mitchell's put on weight, but does he still have that elusiveness? Jeff Wilson Jr., at times, Grant, to me, looks like the best back they have. At times, I've never seen Jeff Wilson look better than I saw in this camp. I mean, he's lean, he's mean, he's fast, he knows the offense. Sermon looks great to me. Ty Davis-Price has glimpses, and then he's got disappointing moments. But I thought Ty Davis-Price in that pass rush or pass blocking drill was absolutely, stonewalling Fred Warner consistently. And then Jordan Mason from Georgia Tech. I want to see if it's real because in the practices he looks absolutely like an NFL back, and so that's and then there's Hasty, and Hasty knows this offense better. So than he did a year ago. So I think that's a really good competition. I think it's wide open. I'm looking forward to watching it because if you told me this back's going to start and you literally went with any of them except for Hasty, I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow. I really look at this position totally differently. To me, this is Elijah Mitchell's position. I think Debo is still the number 2 guy. They like Jeff Wilson. And after that, they have questions. So I want to go one by one. Let's start with Trey Sermon. They're saying nice things about Trey Sermon, but frankly, their actions last year said they didn't trust him. They didn't have him active. There was no role for him. There was a role for JaMychal Hasty on the team, but not Trey Sermon. So, okay, he's doing everything right. Let's see what it looks like. In camp, he'll have some nice runs, but he also is, of all the running backs, to me, is the one that gets stopped in the backfield the most. He's indecisive, a la Tevin Coleman. They don't like that about him. So I want to see how often does he get stopped in the backfield. And what's nice about running backs, you're actually going to get yards per carry on these guys. So you can actually evaluate them. But I want to see Trey Sermon. Do you have any juice? You're the slowest of the running backs. I know he's a good receiver. He has really long hands, arms. I want to see what kind of juice he has. Is he indecisive? Because I know Ty Davis-Price is not indecisive. I don't know if he's agile, but with Ty Davis-Price, what I want to see is, do you have the burst to get to the edge? Because can you be a short yardage back? Because I don't think he has any of the, you call it pick and slide ability of Trey Sermon. I don't think he has any of that. He's not. He's not a pick and slide guy. But that's a good question as far as how fast is Ty Davis-Price functionally? That's what I want. It doesn't matter. The stopwatch means zero with these guys. It's all about functional speed. I mean, I thought Mitchell last year played nowhere close to the 4.33 speed that he showed when he worked out, but it didn't matter because he didn't fumble and he ran above his pads and he can pick and slide and he's got great vision. And so I think Ty Davis-Price is their one chance of this group to find a player who can get to the edge in the outside zone stretch run game at will. And if he can't do it, they're going to have to change up how they run the ball this year. More power. They're just going to have to use Debo still. I mean, I think the whole idea with taking Ty Davis-Price is okay, we need a running back who can do what Debo does. Well, it better be Ty Davis-Price. He ran a 4.48. He supposedly is. Let's see it, because I've seen him do it a few times in practice. So if he can do it in real games, there will be a role for him. And then, as you mentioned, Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason could get the whole second half. Jordan Mason is not fast. He's kind of like Trey Sermon, but he is extremely decisive, and at least in practice, he runs really freaking hard. I want to see Jordan Mason. I think it's going to take 3 guys to take him to the ground. I think he might be.
I also think this is an incredible player because you see this sometimes in football. This guy was a non-factor as a receiver in college, but that was more them because I'm watching him in practice, and it's like now he's this guy catch it. He catches it pretty naturally. So I'm eager to see what Mason looks like as a receiver when the lights shine bright. And also running back. Come on, let's be honest. This is the ultimate position as far as the games matter. The practices don't. Yep. So I don't care what these guys' workout numbers are. And I really don't care what they look like in the OTAs. And I really don't care what they look like in practice because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be evaluating this. And I think everybody in the league will be evaluating this because because what you do in these games is who you are. There's no such thing as, yeah, man, I'm an awesome running back. I'm just not good in the games. No. Yeah, you are good in the games. If you're a good running back, you're good in the games. There's no such thing as this guy sucks in the games, but man, he did it in practice. So in a lot of ways, this is the truest competition, Grant, because we're going to come out of this game kind of having a feel for the pecking order of this backfield, and it's wide open in my mind.
Yeah, and with Jordan Mason, again, we've seen him. There's been a lot of buzz about him. People who've seen him. Fans haven't really seen him yet. I would describe him as like sort of a bigger, younger version of Jeff Wilson Jr. Undrafted free agent, not fast, runs so hard, and is really going to endear himself to the coaches by how he plays. And to you too, you're going to like him a lot.
My scouting buddy says his comp, and I really liked it. Marion Barber. Remember Marion Barber a few years ago at Dallas? Big guy runs violently hard.
Absolutely. Jay Figs Ramon says, how do you think the Niners will fare this season against teams like the Rams who are built to stop mobile quarterbacks? Well, it'll be very interesting because the Niners did have a formula to beat the Rams, which was quick passing, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands and run the ball. I think they're still going to be able to run the ball, but they have Bobby Wagner now. What do you think? How's that matchup different?
I mean, the Rams, if you can get the Rams, it's all going to be about when you get the Rams. I really believe that. What weeks do the Niners play the Rams? Do we have that? Do you have that schedule?
Early. Let me get
It's early. See, because you want them late. Why? Because they're thin. So if you get them early, you may run into a team that looks like a Super Bowl contender. But if you get them late, I think you're going to be very pleased. I think they're going to win some games early. They shouldn't win. They're going to lose some games late. They absolutely should lose because I think they're relatively thin. I don't love their roster. I really don't love their roster.
Here's my thing with Stafford's good, but he's about as smart as Jimmy Garoppolo. The difference between Matthew Stafford and Jimmy Garoppolo is that Matthew Stafford has a great arm. Jimmy doesn't. If you can. The reason the Niners beat Stafford twice is they were in his face the first two times. I mean, they sacked him 5 times in the second game. If you can get to him, he makes terrible decisions. He throws picks. So he's a bad quarterback. If you give him time, he's Patrick Mahomes. So it seems like the Niners have that pass rush again that they can hound him relentlessly all game. Seems like they still match up well because the Rams can't run the ball at all. They're a totally one-dimensional team that's built on drop-back passing. If you can rush the quarterback, Rams are in trouble. So Niners still match up really well with the best team in the league, I think.
I just think the Rams are paper thin. I mean, receiver-wise, Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, it's awesome. It's awesome. But then when those guys go down, what do you got? You got Van Jefferson's hurt. Tutu Atwell's tiny. Skowronek is just a guy. And then the rest of those guys can't play dead. I mean, Jacob Harris I kind of like, but they don't have much at receiver. On the offensive line, they lost their left tackle. Joe Notaboom steps in. So they're relatively thin on the offensive line. That they're the guy they drafted, Logan Bruce. They're saying may wind up being the starter at right guard. I know Kendall Blanton had a great championship game, but the Rams are basically one deep at tight end. And then the backfield, I mean, their backup quarterbacks, Wofford, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, and then it's Kyron Williams. I don't love the depth of their backfield, but their first team is incredible. And you can say the same thing on the defense, the defense as well. The first team guys are pretty good, but when you get to that, there's a dramatic drop off between their first and second team. So I just think that the Rams are too thin, especially coming out of the Super Bowl where, there's always adversity injury wise for those teams that play in the Super Bowl. So I'm not as fearful of the Rams this year as others are, because I think they suffer just the normal course of injuries. I think they'll be a dramatically diminished football team as the weeks pile up.
That's what I thought about them last year. They were extremely thin last year too, having that dead cap from Jared Goff on their books, but they never have big injuries. They are one of the healthier teams under Sean McVay, and I don't know what they do.
They don't play in the preseason.
They do something right. All right.
They don't play any of their guys in the preseason. I mean, that might be, McVay may be ahead of things on that. Maybe. That might be the route to go.
Maybe. Might be, because it's always good to have your players healthy when the regular season starts.